Hey bookaholics, it's Isabel and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a long ass book haul. So all the books I've accumulated pretty much the last part of the year. So this is the books I got in August, September, October, November, and December. So 5 months worth of book hauls. Let's just get right into it because it's going to be a long ass video. Mentioning, I'm not too sure if I mentioned them before. I might have mentioned them in another book haul, but I'm not 100% sure. So I added them in here just in case. So the first one I got at that Westgate Books, and that is A Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst. This one Emma Books has raved about. It's pretty much a fantasy that surrounds two girls. One is a protector and one is a princess, and they fall in love in this world that gay isn't seen as like a big thing. Like, it's not seen at all because that word doesn't exist because there's no prejudice against same-sex couples. So that's really cool. I'm interested to see where this goes because I believe one of them is set to be married to the prince or something, and so yeah, that is what happens. And I'm not too sure where it goes, but I know Emma Books love this book, so I'm excited to actually get into it and see where it goes because I don't have many lesbian kind of novels, so I would like to try this one out. Next one, also good at Westgate Books, is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This one is a kind of fun adult one. It follows two people, a girl and a guy, and they work together but they freaking hate each other, and I'm not too sure exactly what happens. I know a lot of people love this one. It's just like kind of like a fun contemporary read, and they hate each other. They somehow get together. I don't know, but I know that this involves publishing, so I love publishing. I want to be in the publishing industry someday. I'm excited to read this one and see where it goes. Next one I got is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. A lot of people talked about this one like a while ago. I never really got into that talk because I never read it, but this was also at Westgate Books because all the great books are there apparently. This one involves like different worlds of magic, and this one person's able to jump between different worlds, and like there's dark magic, there's red magic, there's white magic, I think, and yeah, so I'm not too sure exactly what goes on in this one because I kind of want to go in blind, but I'm excited to kind of check this one out and start reading the series that people have just been raving about. Next one I got, which I know I talked about on this channel, but I'm not too sure if I did a book haul on it. So the next one I got was The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This one also is talked about a lot in the summer. It is a book following a girl who has Asperger's, and she's non-social, and her parents trying to push her in the direction of getting together with someone finally, and she's very uncomfortable with the prospect of sex, and she ends up hiring an escort or something, and they kind of keep getting together and romance ensues, and it just sounds really cute. And I did start reading it during the summer, hoping to kind of try this one again and give it another shot. Next one, another one from Westgate Books, Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. I read this one already. I read it as an audiobook. I loved it, and I just had to get into physical forms just so I can have it in my hand, and I hope to be able to read this again in physical form, not just audiobook, and kind of get into that girl power kind of thing again. This one follows a girl who, she's in like a school that is very sexist, and so she's trying to counteract that by giving out these signs that encourage girls to not take boys' craps, not take boys' crap, and fight back and get their school back kind of thing. So yeah, this is a freaking good read, and I would recommend it to anyone. Next ones, I know I never mentioned in a book haul, so yay. These next four actually got together in a order. The first one I got is Asking for It by Lewis O'Neill. Heard it's a really hard read. It follows a girl who goes to a party and she doesn't remember anything the next day, but she wakes up on her porch without any clothes on or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I read the synopsis once, but I kind of do want to go into this as blind as possible. I'm excited to read it and see where the story goes. Next one I got, which finally I got it, is Nice Try Jane Sinner by Leanne Oakley. This one also was recommended by Emma Books. She raved about it when she first read it before it was out. I've been planning on getting it, I just hadn't gotten around to it, and every time I saw it in the bookstore I was like, I don't need it. I have so many books, but with the sale, I decided to finally just bite the bullet and get it. So I did. This one, it follows a girl who is expelled from her high school and she goes to a college to kind of get some credits, and she ends up moving in this house, kind of like Big Brother. So like it's all reality TV show because she's filmed while she's living here, and yeah, there's some reward at the end. I'm not too sure, but I'm excited to read this one, see why Emma Books loved it so much. Next one I got was American Panda by Gloria Chow. This one I actually did start reading. I'm a little under halfway done. I read it when I went to New York and I just kind of stopped. This reading slump has been really hurting my reading. This one pretty much follows a girl who is going into pre-med, and her parents are very encouraging but very kind of forceful. She has to go into pre-med, she has to do this. She has to do this for her family, and they've been working so hard to get her here, so she feels like she's obligated to do it. Her brother, on the other hand, he was also pre-med, but he ended up choosing to be with someone their parents do not approve of, and they disinherit him and they cut him out of their life. So she's kind of in between that. She wants to follow her own dreams, but she's scared to disappoint her parents and be disinherited like her brother has. That's this book, and I'm hoping I'll get into it again soon. The next book I got, which I probably won't read until summer again because it is more of a summery read, but that's Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. This one follows a couple. They go on a field trip or something, they're broken up, and they end up getting banded somehow, and they have to travel through the woods getting home, and they have to be together. So they're exes, they're not very on friendly terms, and yeah, it's just things ensue after that. I'm not too sure what, but I'm excited to find out. It's very summery, like even the cover is very summery. The next book I got, which I was not expecting myself to buy this, but that is Shooter by Carolyn Pignant. This one I was just going through Indigo and I happened to come across it, saw the shooter here, and I was like, what's that about? Essentially, as you can tell by the title, it follows a group of people in high school. There is a shooter in the school and they kind of hide in a unlocked bathroom. I know that there's 4 people in this washroom together waiting out the shooter to be either caught or to find them. Next one I got, which I've been kind of eyeing this for a while. Ever since I saw like a post on Instagram or something, I've been kind of obsessed and I've been kind of wanting to get it, but I just haven't yet. But I ended up deciding to finally go for it, and that is Less by Andrew Sean Greer. This is a book that follows a 41-year-old gay man who his ex-boyfriend is getting married, and he kind of gets invited to it, and he's like, nope. He ends up accepting all these book-related events that are all around the world, and he goes on to a kind of backpacking trip at 41, and like things ensue from there. I'm not too sure what, but I'm excited to find out. Next one I got is Invisible Ghosts by Robin Schneider. This one follows a girl who sees her dead brother's ghost. And that's really all I know about it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Next one I got, which everyone should know about, is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This one, if you haven't known, is made into a movie. It was one of the reasons why I decided to pick it up. I was kind of interested in the movie, but I wanted to see what went on in the book first, so I got it, and I read it, and then I watched the movie. It was pretty good. It had its ups and downs, I think. I think I ended up giving like a 3 or 4 stars. It was interesting to see how the other half lived, and kind of learn a little bit about their culture and everything. There was points where it was just jumping all over the place. It didn't follow one single person. It followed like a bunch of people and how they thought. And like that was interesting, but I don't know. There's just a lot going on. I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the movie, but it's definitely not my favorite. The next one I got is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I wasn't even expecting myself to get this one, but I did because I went to go get another book and I found this one and I was like, you know what? Let's give this one a try. I know my friend Danny has been really interested in this one, so like if she wants, she can borrow it before I can even get to it, because I'm not too sure when I'm gonna get to this, but I know she really wanted to check it out. So Danny, if you're watching this, and you want to read this, hit me a text and I can lend it to you. This one I believe follows a girl who, something, I'm not even too sure. I know these two people, they're both different artists and they kind of collaborate on something on his radio kind of thing. And I'm not too sure where it goes from there, but I do know it does follow LGBTQ characters, so I'm really excited for that. You guys know I love my LGBTQ books, so yeah, I'm excited to read this one and see how it goes. And Danny, hit me up if you want to read it. Next one I got, which I also already read, and should be absolutely no surprise to anyone, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This one is definitely one of my favorite books this year. It's adorable. It was everything I wanted it to be. It was just so good. And I read it before I went to New York because I know they were in New York and they went to different places I went, and it just made it so much better because I hadn't gone there yet, but it gave me like very excited feeling because I knew I was going to be there too. This one pretty much just follows a boy who moves to New York for a summer. He's kind of doing an internship for his mom's firm, and when he's going to the post office, he runs into this other boy and they have a really cute meet cute. They go on to some like disastrous states. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just so adorable. If you haven't read it yet, definitely go and read it. It is freaking adorable. The next two I got were from an owl crate, and the first one is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagwa. So this is the same author of the Iron Fae series. I read those ones on my ebook and I know I did enjoy them then. I haven't read them since, but I'm excited to kind of get into this one because it has Japanese kind of myths in it and I know nothing about Japanese myths. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. I'm not too sure what actually goes on, but there's monks, there's dragons, there's something in there that is fun, so I'm hoping to get to this soon and kind of check it out, and the cover is just gorgeous, so I love it. Next one in the Owl Crate box was Pride by Ibi Zoboe. It's kind of like a version of Pride and Prejudice in the modern time in New Jersey or New York or somewhere. It's a kind of ghetto kind of neighborhood and these new people move in, more rich, so they feel like they're gonna try to take over and dismantle their neighborhood kind of thing. So kind of just follows that. I'm not too sure what else goes on. I know there's two characters, one boy and one girl. That's all I really know. The next one I got, which I'm so excited for, is Spark of Light by Jodi Picoult. This is her new novel. So this one follows a group of people who are in this abortion clinic. There's someone getting an abortion, there's doctors who do the abortion, there's someone who is against abortion and protesting it, there's some other people in there, plus a shooter. He is holding the clinic hostage. It kind of just brings me back to how her other books are, like really got me into all her books. Latest ones that she's written haven't had that feel, like 19 Minutes or 10 Circle or all those other ones. They all making a comment on some really heavy subjects. And this one is definitely a really heavy subject since it's dealing with abortion. So I'm excited to get into this one and see where the story takes me. The next one I got, which was just a really fun read, and I really enjoyed this book. That one is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Oh my god. This one was so fantastic. So this one follows a girl and a boy. They first met in college. It was just like quick little meetings, like really awkward, very embarrassing meetings on the girl's end. And they end up meeting again later on. It's like 7 years after they met each other in college. They become like best friends and they start setting each other on blind dates while doing a double date. So essentially what they're doing is saying they're not dating, but pretty much going on dates because they completely ignore the blind date. It's really fantastic, it's really cute, and I've really enjoyed this book, and I would highly recommend it. Next book I got, which I'm really excited for, it's a sequel to a book I really freaking loved, and that is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. So this is the second book of The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. It will follow Felicity, I think, in her journey of being on a pirate ship or something. I'm not too sure what goes on. I'm kind of wanting to go into this blind because it is connected to Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, but not quite. So like, I'm excited to see where this goes. The next one I got is Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the third book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I don't want to talk too much about it. Stalking Jack the Ripper is the first book, which I read, but I haven't read the second one, so either way I couldn't say too much about this one. Stalking Jack the Ripper follows a girl who is working with her uncle and helping with like funeral arrangements and like doing things with the body. I'm not too sure what the word is. Oh my god. She goes into the mystery of trying to figure out who Stalking Jack the Ripper is, and she buddies up with this other guy who's freaking hilarious and I love him. Next book I got, it's a companion book to another book I read, and this one is The Caged Queen by Kristen Cercerelli. Not too sure if I said her name right. This one is the companion to The Last Namsara. I'm not too sure what else to say about it. I'm really excited for it. Next two books I got are the ones I got in New York. The first one I have is Dear Evan Hansen by Val Emmett, Stephen Levison, Benj Pasek, and Justin Paul. This one is just the book version of Dear Evan Hansen musical. I've already watched the musical, as you might have seen in my New York video. This one pretty much follows a boy named Dear Evan Hansen who is very antisocial, and his mother is trying to convince him to kind of get out there and make some friends, and one of the way he does this is write letters to himself, starting with Dear Evan Hansen, today's gonna be a good day and here's why. And this letter he writes to himself ends up getting picked up by this boy Connor, who is kind of not a part of any social crowd in high school, and he ends up finding this letter, and then he ends up killing himself. And the letter that Dear Evan Hansen wrote to himself is what's left on his body, and their parents, they're convinced that Evan Hansen was Connor's friend, and they kind of get him into a tough spot that he can't really get himself out of just because of his antisocial anxiety and everything. He just can't get around confrontation, and he ends up admitting that they were friends even though they weren't, so things just ensue after that. I'm really excited to read a book version of the play and see where it goes. Next one I got in New York was Arch Enemies by Marissa Mayer. This one I'm really excited for. It is the second book in the Renegades trilogy. Can't really say too much about it, but Renegades followed different sides of superheroes, so there's the superheroes and then the supervillains kind of thing, and one of the main characters is a supervillain and one of them is on the superhero sides. In Renegades, one of the girls infiltrates the Renegades and tries to dismantle their system, and yeah, I'm excited to read this one and get into the story again. The next one I got, which I wasn't even planning on getting, but Reese Witherspoon had to convince me, One Day in December by Josie Silver. This one is just another cute contemporary adult kind of read. It follows a girl who doesn't believe in first sight, but when she sees this guy out of the bus she's on, she's instantly knows he's the one. She doesn't see him again until her friend introduces him as her boyfriend. So I'm not too sure where the story goes from there. I'm kind of excited. Everyone's talking about it. I'm hoping it's really good and not like insta-lovey. I would be very disappointed if it's insta-lovey, but we'll see how it goes. Next book I got, which I found at Westgate Books, and I was actually really excited. It was only $8, so I'm happy. That is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one has been talked about a lot as well. This one follows a journalist, I believe, who goes to Evelyn Hugo's house. She's an actress or big singer or something, and she does an interview for a biography. Not too sure what else goes on. I know that it's kind of like a historical kind of novel, but everyone loved it, and my friend Danny loved it, so I'm hoping I will too. The last book I got in this book haul, which should come as no surprise, is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. If you don't know, this is the third book in her Dark Artifices series, so I can't really say too much about it. Lady Midnight followed Emma and Julian, who were featured in the last book of The Mortal Instruments. She's trying to solve her parents' murder. The murder that her parents went through starts again in that book, and she's trying to figure out who's doing it, why it's happened, why her parents were picked to be killed, and yeah, it's the third book and the last book in the Dark Artifices series, and I'm really excited. Also, it's so beautiful. And look at the dust jacket. It's so pretty, isn't it? It's so gorgeous. That is the last book I got in the second half of the year. Sorry I haven't been doing book hauls lately, and I haven't been doing any videos really, but I finally have put together a big book haul of this last year, and hopefully next year I'll be able to get into videos again and get into talking more about books and actually start reading books again. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what books you guys got in the last half of the year. Subscribe if you haven't yet, or if you want to. Check out my other social media accounts on my Facebook, Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram. I make a video every week, month, or whenever I can, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!